Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Open Office Hours. I am Crystal. I'm part of the team here at Syncro. I will let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, it's Tatiana.
Hi everyone, I'm Brandy, also part of the team here.
Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's Hannah.
Thank you, ladies. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, just wanted to say welcome to Open Office Hours. This is a really great place to come with any questions that you have. I say it every week. It doesn't matter where you are at in your journey with Syncro. If you're trialing, if you've never seen it, or if you've been, a customer of ours for years, we're happy to have you. All questions are welcome. And the exciting part is we have a very special guest today. His name is Cameron. He's on the Syncro technical support team. So Cameron, if you don't mind, love to let everyone know what you do here.
Hello, my name is Cameron. As Crystal said, I am part of the Syncro technical support team. So if you send an email, messages, or call into us, I might be one of the people answering those questions. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Yes, we're happy you're here as well, Cameron. So just the flow, again, if you're new to Open Office Hours, the flow is that we use the Q&A. We all, as you all probably have as well, multiple screens. So if you see us looking at a different screen, we're probably just monitoring that Q&A. So that's where we will grab questions. A little information, if we put like a link in chat, we don't use chat externally because it's kind of hard to manage. But if we put a link into chat, like we've talked about something and we have a great KB, we will put it in chat, and just letting you know that if you don't click on that link and save it before this is over, that link will disappear. So make sure you click on all of those links. And then the other question that gets asked often is we are recording. I like to make sure I say that in the beginning prompts, just so that I make sure that I actually hit record, which I did, and we will post these on our YouTube channel. So feel free to catch up. Also, all of our previous ones are there. If we've done any deep dives, we will kind of label those as that. Recently we've done like an SNMP deep dive, which was really awesome, but we've done different things of how to track time in a ticket. And so those are labeled that way. So feel free, as the questions roll in, we try to kind of go through rapid fire as quickly as we can. And we'll be super honest. If there's something that we don't know, we'll tell you. Or if we're asking other folks that might be watching or helping as we're doing this, we'll let you know if there's a delay. Okay, let's see here. I am just going to read this one out loud from John. So I'm just going to grab answer live. So for obviously, and Cameron, if there's any that you want to just grab, feel free to. John says, we are new to the tool and would like to know about reports and dashboards creation, alerts creation for security events, and then is Syncro just a preventative tool, or can we put a file in quarantine, or will there be only a warning? Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. So I'll kind of talk through a couple things, but I would love to just let you know, John, if you are new to Syncro and you haven't had a product tour, please reach out to us, because we'd be happy to walk you through and answer your specific questions. What I will say is, let me just go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here to see this presentation real quick, because I haven't gotten out of it. All right. So one thing that I will show you, as far as just regarding dashboards, just in general, of course, on your assets and RMM screen, you have an interactive active dashboard. So this is dynamic and everything here is pretty clickable. On your main dashboard, we do have a lot of information here as well. And I'm just doing this pretty high level, but so you've got a pretty nice interactive dashboard here. And then when you head over to tickets, I do like to show this because every once in a while this gets missed. So you can, if you go to view, you can open a ticket dashboard as well. So you can manage these dashboards on multiple monitors if you'd like. You can customize the color scheme and things like that. So if you want to keep this up on a monitor, I know a lot of us are remote, but if you do have an office and you'd like to keep that up in one of the main rooms, that's a great tool to use. The one that I'm going to hit on reports just in general, we've recently released an amazing report. So I thought it would be worth just showing the executive summary report builder. This is kind of the foundation of where we would like to go with our reports. And so I will just show you, I think, oops, I need to put a customer there. I'm gonna use the test template because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different things in here. But this is totally customizable. You can grab different modules. You can have, whether it's a visual breakdown or more of textual items. So this is totally customizable. So you can grab, drag and drop different types of report modules that you would like to input there. So I like to just show that off as in regards to reports. But as you can see, there is a ton of reports built right into Syncro. So I would just suggest kind of diving in and taking a peek. I'm talking a lot, but I'm unpacking. That was there was kind of a multifaceted question. We're not just a preventative tool. So I'm not going to go through like step by step of how to set up a policy, but our policies are what drive the agent to report on different alerts, and we have automated remediation. So as those alerts are coming in, you can have things automatically happen, create a ticket, run a script, do all of those types of things. And one thing I will mention, I'm just going to go into the base package too, because you also mentioned being able to quarantine a file. So we do integrate with 3 different amazing managed antivirus products. So we have Bitdefender, Webroot, and MCSoft. So with all of these, you do have the option to quarantine files and that kind of thing automatically. So absolutely, these 3 integrations allow you to do that. They all function just a little bit different, but 3 really awesome options there. All right, so I think I'll end it on that one, and we'll kind of get to the next question.
Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. I see one in here. So Evan, I have a ticket automation called Request Customer Response that alerts the customer that a ticket will be closed in 2 days if the ticket status is waiting on customer and there's no update in 72 hours. I'm finding that the private note the automation adds to the ticket isn't enough to update the ticket. So this automation continuously runs after 72 hours. What's the best way to have this automation run once after 72 hours and then another that runs 48 hours after no response? So really good question. And I went ahead and kind of made this up how I think that you probably did it. So I have the request customer response. Ticket status is waiting on customer, hasn't been updated in 72 hours. Let's email the customer and let them know. This is the best way to handle this. And then if you wanted to actually change the status here, you could change the status to resolved if you wanted to. But I think what you're saying is you want this to run, and then 48 hours after that, if you don't get a response, you want to do another one. So I would actually just create, you might hear a best practice might just be to put this in a specific status and then run another ticket automation for that particular status and say, okay, it hasn't been updated in 48 hours, and then you want to resolve the ticket. So that's probably how I would do it. I've also seen this one done where people will say this status has been waiting on customer and it hasn't been updated in 72 hours. They're going to go ahead and email the customer and then go ahead and change that to resolved. So some different options there, but probably just using the status, or you could even use like different priorities, and then you could use those up here as your condition for that second one that's 48 hours. So hopefully that helps.
Brandy, he has a follow-up question. He says, that's what I was thinking. Where do I add custom ticket statuses?
Oh, okay. So custom ticket statuses, this is a little bit of a tricky one, but in the admin section, if you go to tickets and you go to preferences, I believe it's under additional settings. So you can add different statuses here. You're going to see the ones that say system. Those are hard coded. They do trigger different things in the back end. So for example, like if you want it to be a resolved ticket, but waiting on customer. You do need to put resolved and then dash waiting on customer. That's what triggers, everything for a resolved ticket in the back end, that it needs to follow those processes. So you can add some custom ones, but again, there are certain things that need to be set in place. But you could do that. You could set it to like resolved waiting on customer, and then you could have that be your resolved waiting on customer, hasn't been updated in 48 hours. Then you want to actually just change it to resolved. Hopefully that helps.
All right, I guess I'll go next. So Chris Johnson has a 3-part question. How do we choose which customer email to send an invoice to and from? The email actions feature in invoices. Also, how do we see which invoice emails have been sent? Is there a send out box? Can we change the email from the @Syncro email address to our domain? Yeah, these are great questions. Give me just a moment. We'll share the screen. Let's take a look here. Under the admin section, if you type in dashboard, you'll see there's a status dashboard, and it will, I believe, show the first 50 records of things that are going on. So an example, this would be send an invoice.
We can't see your screen, Cameron.
Oh, my goodness. That was great. So if we can see right here the dashboard. So if you go back here and you just type in dashboard, you'll see there's a status dashboard, and it will show the last 50, I believe, records here in general. So example, I sent an invoice for invoice here. You could also see on the invoice itself whether or not you sent an email in the bottom left-hand corner of the invoice. If there's typically on the invoice email itself, on the left-hand side, it will show which email you're going to send out to. However, if the email is not allowed to receive invoice emails, it will ask you if you want to add one in there directly. If you're having an issue with that, please let us know. And you noted in there that you wanted to change the email from the @Syncro email. If you do change your outbound emails, so let me just share my screen one more time and we'll kind of look at that. If we go to the admin section and we go to mailboxes, at the very bottom here, you can see right here, anything that's outbound, it should show that email. For example, I set mine up as Syncro MSP, but if you put your own business email in there and you set up as outbound, it should show your domain. However, internal emails, so if like tech users or something like that are still getting emails, those will still show at the Syncro email. And then also too, you can also set up your own SMTP, and those settings are located down here as well. And that will also go through your email server.
Awesome, super helpful. Thank you so much, Cameron. I'm going to grab a question here from Chris. He says, how would I add line items like mailboxes or backup storage to a monthly agreement? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and I'll show you guys our recurring invoices and all the different options that we have available in here. Mailboxes specifically, I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to there. If you could please elaborate, I would love to explain perfectly in depth what you're looking for. But for example, if you are planning to resell backups that are coming very, very soon through Syncro, you would be able to add that as a brand new line item in here once that it becomes available. So really, when you're setting up your recurring invoices, I obviously opened one that I already have created, but when you're initially setting it up, you do this on a customer per customer basis. You set how often you want to bill them, on what date of the month you'd like to bill them, whether you're pulling in pending ticket charges, or you can add any types of different line items in here. We have a ton of really cool automations built in, really to customize and be a perfect fit for what you prefer to bill your customer. So again, with the backups that will be coming soon here as a line item, and you'd be able to add that as soon as that is released. So hopefully that is helpful to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tatiana. John, what email do I write to for the tool tour? Thanks again. So actually what you can do, I think I looked it up, but an easy way to tell who your account manager is if you just type in your email, go to your Gmail or whatever it is and put @syncromsp.com. You're probably going to find an email from one of us. If you haven't done that before, you can actually just go onto our website and you can select right here to get a product tour. And so you'll be able to get one with one of us. It will be one of us that will be working with you. But if you don't have an account rep, just go up here to get a product tour. And that goes for anyone who's joining us that might not have a current Syncro trial. And if you have one from the past, you can also get that reactivated. We're happy to do that for you guys. So you can do that. And then I do have a question in here from Mitchell. So are there any plans to add an edit button on the ticket comment? This is something that comes up pretty often, but truly the ticket comments are supposed to be for historical purposes. So we wouldn't want those to be deleted. I truly don't know of that becoming something that we do edit, especially for like if you're adding the email, you obviously can't change that comment because the email's already gone. Same with the SMS part. But in terms of like the private comments, currently you'd have to delete that and then create a new one. You could copy and paste and create a new one, but we're happy to add your vote to that. Go ahead and grab this other one too. So this is from Mitchell also. Will we have the ability in the future to have two techs remote into the same PC when using Syncro Live without kicking the other out? This would be helpful when training or asking for assistance from another tech for troubleshooting. Excellent question. Really great feature request. It is very heavily requested. I know that we would love to be able to add that in the future. I just don't have an ETA. So to be able to invite someone else to work with you on the remote access tool. Yep, great question. And we'll add that.
Super helpful. Thank you so much, Brandy. Next question here is from Chris. He says, when creating recurring invoices, I see duplicates of the same invoice under invoices for $0. Why is this happening? Can we customize the columns in invoices to see customer user IDs, etc.? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I will not be able to troubleshoot your specific account, of course, while we're on a live call. You would need to kind of reach out to our support team so that they could take a closer look at what might be causing the duplicates. But something that I would recommend taking a closer look at is if you go over to your invoice modules and into recurring invoices again, if you have two recurring invoices for the same customer that are running on the same schedule, maybe you have one for your monthly contract, you want to just show them, maybe you're billing them on an all-you-can-eat type of model where you're billing them, 5K, 10K a month, and then you have a separate recurring invoice created for just recurring invoices, or I'm sorry, for just pending ticket charges to pull those in. That might be why it's duplicating, if you have two. Another button I wanted to kind of point out here in the recurring invoices is you do have the ability to remove it from creating, or prevent it from creating blank invoices. So if you're pulling in pending ticket charges, maybe this is a break fix customer and they haven't created any tickets this month, everything's been running smoothly for them. If you add any pending ticket charges, this would usually create that invoice automatically for you. But if they don't have any, you can say do not allow generation of blank invoices, and that'll take care of that issue for you. So hopefully that at least points you in the right direction. The second half of your question had to do with the invoices as well as customizing columns. So to me, there's two different directions that question can go. Here in the invoices section, unfortunately, there isn't a way to customize the columns to add more if needed. Obviously, the customer name is listed here already. So if that's something that you need, we can pass that along as a feature request. However, if you are looking to edit the actual template of the invoice, that is completely customizable. You can add and remove any columns that are needed here. I searched for customer here. Just in the available tags, there's a bunch of custom fields you can pull in if that's what you're looking for. And again, you can build multiple invoice templates, even on a customer per customer basis, to make it look and feel exactly the way that you want it to. So that is what I would recommend there. Hopefully that helps.
Thank you, Tatiana. That was awesome. Joseph has a question along the same lines of invoices. Is there any way to remove all open invoices to restart over? I'm going to share my screen. This is, of course, assuming that the invoice has not been sent out yet, but let me go ahead and show you. So I'm here under the invoices tab, and these would be my invoices. You can do an advanced search here, so you can see which ones would be emailed, recurring, took payment, or synced. So if I look at the ones that did not take payment, and then I apply those settings, that then you do have the option to select all and then bulk actions and then delete the selected. And then hopefully that does help for you. Go ahead and stop.
I can go ahead and take one. First of all, Roger, good day. Wow, the open office hours dynamic trio has grown. We have grown. We've added Hannah to our team, and then we've also added Cameron for this week, but we are continuing. If you're just joining us for the first time in a bit, technical support has been joining us on Fridays. We've had a member, which is awesome. We'd love for you guys to get to know who's behind the emails and the phone calls, and they're helping us tremendously. So, anyways, welcome back if you haven't been here in a while. And then Scott is also asking, is there a remote access app for mobile phones? So there isn't. Syncro Live currently is not available from the mobile app on iOS or Android devices. However, if you want to use your phone or your tablet from in the field, you could just use a mobile Chrome browser. That's what we would recommend in order to launch those sessions.
All right, I'll go ahead and go next. Looks like Chris Johnson. How do I filter appointment calendars for each tech? I currently see all appointments. I would like to see calendars for specific techs. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to be in the calendar view, which can be accessed through here. Basically, we hit the toggle view and we can add or remove any of these texts to view as to whether or not we want to see those appointments.
Awesome, super helpful. Thank you so much. I will grab this question here from Scott. He says, why do I sometimes get a preview of an asset's screen and other times not? Unfortunately, of course, I am not able to troubleshoot on the call. Usually what I hear from our support team, and maybe Cameron can elaborate if I'm missing anything, but if you're experiencing any type of issues, it's super helpful to grab any type of screenshots, timestamps, and when you're submitting that initial ticket, it's super helpful to have as much information as possible. So if this is something that's happening on a recurring basis, maybe it's to one specific asset or during a certain time frame, please do let our support team know so that they can investigate and try to give them as much information as possible. What I will, for those of you that don't know what the question is concerning, this quick view modal, there's two different places you can preview a screen before actually remotely logging in. Anywhere that an asset exists, you can use this quick view modal right here, and you would be able to preview the screen just right here. So I'm not sure if that's not the one that's populating, or if you're, for example, if you go to the actual asset, we do have a section that allows you to preview that here as well, just like that. So hopefully that is helpful to you in reaching out.
As a quick addendum to that too, if the computer is on the login screen, it won't show the asset view either. So for example, I have like an asset right now in which it's online, but it does not show the quick view. But if I did go in Syncro Live and log into the account, it would start showing that view.
Wow, that's seriously so good. Wow, so grateful you're here. Thank you, Cameron.
I can go ahead and grab one. Scott says, are there any plans for a mobile phone app? I moved from other RMN platforms that had it. It's been very helpful in an emergency. I'm not sure if you're referring to just an app in general or the follow-up to having the remote access tool. We do have a mobile app for iOS and Android, and guys, we are continuing to develop that. I promise. We just recently added chat there. So we released chat in our desktop, in our app first, and then we added that to the mobile app later. So we will continue to add new features. Requests definitely help, but in terms of having remote access, I'm truly not sure. Okay, follow up. Yeah. I'm truly not sure about that one, to be honest.
Got it. Thank you, Brandy. Question here from Chris. He says, how would I integrate with QuickBooks / credit cards? So I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple of resources into the chat box on exactly how to set up the QuickBooks integration as well as any payment processor. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'll show you guys kind of the basics, and then those KBs are very well written, super detailed, and they will give you a lot more information screenshot by screenshot of what you are looking for. So again, with our integration, we do for accounting purposes integrate with both QuickBooks and QuickBooks Desktop as well as QuickBooks Online. And you would be able to see that here in the App Center. So go ahead and just click the app card. And again, I'll send over the KBs on what to do screen by screen. When you're asking about payment processors, we do integrate with 3 of them. WorldPay allows you to do ACH payments as well as credit card payments. PayPal is available for credit card payment processing only, as well as Stripe for credit card payment processing. If you're looking to automate accepting payments, you do have that capability with Syncro. But again, usually when I'm having a conversation with you guys on demos around payment processing and QuickBooks integrations, my question is, are you looking to really choose to email your invoices from the Syncro side or from the QuickBooks side? Because if you're setting up your recurring invoices on the Syncro side with QuickBooks Online specifically, it will do a two-way sync for payments specifically. So for you, it's kind of up to you how you want to run things. If you want to process payments through Syncro, I would set up WorldPay, PayPal, or Stripe, because then you could create your recurring invoice. You could pull in the pending ticket charges based on all the time that you're tracking already within Syncro. You can add all of these automated line items here that I mentioned previously. And then through WorldPay as well as Stripe, you could actually automatically withdraw from the customer's credit card or ACH for WorldPay. And then once that entire process is complete, then it will sync over to QuickBooks Online. And then that would be more for historical information for you, for your accountant, for tax purposes at the end of the year, things like that. Whereas if you want to, and again, the invoice, the PDF would be created on the Syncro side, and that is the one that they would receive, versus if you wanted to create the invoice on the Syncro side, it also would duplicate on the QuickBooks side. You can email from there, you can accept payment within QuickBooks, and then once the payment is accepted within QuickBooks, it will sync backwards if you're using QuickBooks Online, and it will mark the invoices paid. So really, those are the 2 paths, and what can make your decision easy is deciding if you want to process payments in Syncro versus in QuickBooks, or if you want invoices to be emailed from Syncro versus QuickBooks. So hopefully that quick rundown is helpful to you. I will drop those resources in the chat box for you in just a second.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tatiana. Okay, so question from Aguilar Jose. On warranties by expiration date report, where does it pull the information from? I do not see any fields on the asset to enter a warranty date. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So the report that he's referring to, I'll just show you guys. So I'll be here under reports. It's at the bottom under warranties, warranties by expiration date. So if we look into here and then we drill down into one, that I have saved warranty templates that I'm attaching to assets. How they get attached or built into this report is on an invoice. So when you are selling a particular asset that has that warranty template attached to it, then it will pull that information into the report. And so if I go to my specific product here and I check out the warranty template fill-in, this is what's pulling that information onto the report. And where you build these is in the admin section. And so if we go to, it's here right here, but if we go to admin and then under all the way kind of at the bottom here, under inventory, you're going to see warranty templates, where then you can build those to add on to your products that you offer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah. I have another question here from Chris. How do I link scripts to a policy? This is a great question. Our scripting within Syncro is extremely powerful. There's a ton of different ways you can run scripts, but I'll address your specific question on how to attach a script to a policy. So on any policy that you guys build, you have 4 that come right out of the box, but you can create your own, of course. I'm going to go ahead and just click into the base package, just because that is the one I always use. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see that you can create a setup script. This is going to be a one-time script that runs upon installation. So if there's industry-specific software that your customer needs, again, it will deploy that right as soon as the Syncro agent gets installed. Or you can also have scripts running on a schedule. clean recycling bin weekly on a Friday night, things like that. So I will kind of just leave it all at that. And I'll also grab another question here as well from Heidi. This one has a couple different layers to it, so I'm going to try to address as best as possible. And again, if needed for more clarity, you can reach out to our support team as well. So question from Heidi, is it possible to change a bill to an invoice to another customer? We have a customer that has multiple locations and different tax rates for sales tax, but the main location pays all the invoices for all locations. When trying to add the same contact, we get a message that an email is already in use for the portal. So definitely a lot of layers here. When you guys are deciding to, and it sounds like you already did this step, when you're deciding how you want to set up multiple locations for a customer, Heidi already answered this question, but for the rest of you guys, you need to decide if you're billing all of the locations to the main office. That would mean that you would need to set them up all under the customer profile, under one customer. And then you could, when you're editing the customer, you could add additional sites, location 1, location 2, whatever it might be. But again, all of those, that would mean that all of these tickets are pulled together for this one, under this one company name. All of the bills are going to be pulled to this one specific name. So specifically around, it sounds like you have multiple locations, but the main location pays all of them. So then the question goes to taxes, different tax rates for sales tax. For this, I might either refer to Cameron or ask you to reach out to our support team, because with tax rates, of course, you can create multiples of them, and these apply on a customer per customer basis. So when you're building your initial customer profile, you do choose which tax rate you want applied to all of the invoices for that specific customer. However, when you're initially building your products and services within Syncro as well, you do have a way to create for example, for my labor, you can say, is it taxable? Yes. And also which tax rate, which again, you build those right there in the admin section, and you can apply this here. So I don't know if the best route for you would be to create different products for each location and use that. I feel like that would be a little bit more difficult, or if you would need to just list them as 3 separate customers, and then under the customer profile, when you're creating contacts, you can reuse that same email address across multiple contacts, as far as I'm aware. And you can say, main office billing, or like I have one right here, finance person gets all invoice emails only. You can say yes, and you can say receive billing emails, and just list that contact person for all, let's say 3 locations, so that they get all the invoices there. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Let me just double check and see if I missed anything. I think that addresses all of the emails being reused, the main locations, and different tax rates. So hopefully that's helpful to you. If you need a more elaboration, Heidi, please reach out to our support team.
Just a quick thing too
Oh, yeah.
on that. I would not, doing the products and adding tax rates to those would be a lot more work, and it's a little bit more difficult to manage, because on an invoice, even if you select a tax rate that is something different, if the product has the original tax rate, it will maintain that even if you switch the tax rates on an invoice.
Oh, got it.
And then you have to hit the drop down on the product and manually change it as well. So I would do it the way that Tatiana suggested, where you do 3 separate customers, all that have different tax rates, and kind of leave the products as having no default tax rate there.
Yeah, super smart. Thank you, Cameron. Yeah, I'm also thinking with specifically if you're working on tickets and you need to choose like from 3 different labor rates for the 3 different products, I feel like that would just be a lot more work. So I totally agree on that one.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Very helpful. I've got quite a few in here, so I'll just go ahead and take them while I'm unmuted. Dawn is asking, just like I like my backup, like I back up my Exchange account regularly, I want to back up my Syncro account. How do I back up everything in my Syncro account? Is there a data dump that I can run that will dump everything to my computer? So really, really great question. What I'm going to do, I'll share with you our different tiers that we have with Syncro, because actually the advanced tier of Syncro does include either nightly or monthly data dumps of that into your Dropbox account. So that is going to be that and Domo Analytics. Those are going to be the 2 things that are added to our advanced tier. And you can upgrade your account at any point in time. That would be prorated for you. So if you're looking for everything to be just automated, I would definitely use the advanced tier. future. You are able, aside from that, if you go into the report section, you can export different things. So you can export your customers, you can export your tickets, you can export your invoices. So that's another option for you as well. Hopefully that helps. And let's see here. Any way to have the chat function in the remote window so we don't have to bounce around in tabs? Good question. That would be a feature request. I saw Scott one up that too. So I think it goes both ways. Some people love that it's not in the remote, in the Syncro Live section, and then some people want it to be. So definitely a feature request. And then Thomas, this is also a feature request, but highly requested, and I think it's something that we will be adding in the future, but no ETA about having inheritance for policy definition. So I can create a base policy for all and extend that group for group B and so on. So right now you can clone policies, but if you make one change to one, it doesn't trickle down to the others. So it is a feature request. I know I would love it, and I'm speaking for the team here, but I think that's one of our favorite feature requests currently. And then let's see, I think I had one more in here. Perfect. So Garrett, we finally slowed down from break fix, and we are about to start selling residential MSP using the online link in Syncro, Marketer, and in store. I'm going to sell both monthly and yearly packages. I need 2 different products and prices for monthly, yearly package that use the same policy. I'll show you that. You don't have to have 2 different. You can bill it either annually or monthly. And then after they purchase, you need to make, I need to make manually make their invoice recurring, and their CC is saved when purchased online. Okay, so let me just show what I would do. This is kind of a multi-step piece here. We have a lot of people who transition from break fix to MSP or are kind of a hybrid. But what I would recommend doing is I would just go ahead and create a recurring invoice. Again, you can choose if you want to bill them monthly, annually, you name it. Create a recurring invoice for whichever customer, and you could set this up exactly how you want it and then just apply it to, you can clone it and apply it to another customer. But you could say, okay, monthly, I just want to bill them for their MSP services. So I could just say monthly MSP fee and boom, call it a day. Now every month this is going to send to them. You could also create this annually, and then you can come down here and you could have like an annual MSP fee here, and you can make it however much money you want. You can make it a lot, a little, you name it. You also, while we're here, you do have dynamic counters. So if you want to count how many managed devices they have, if you want to count how many they have on a certain policy, you could do that. So this would be another place where you would be able to bill them. Garrett, if you wanted to say, okay, let's count how many silver packages they have, and I'm going to charge them monthly. And then for someone else, you could bill annually here. So you have to have 2 completely different products in the product section for your policies, and just want to. Hopefully that helps. And I'll drop the recurring invoice because I think subscription management and recurring invoicing can be really helpful.
Super helpful. Thank you so much, Brandy. I'm going to grab a couple here. First one on top is from Scott. He said, you previously showed us how to create saved asset searches. Thank you. It has been very helpful. You're welcome. I think Brandy was the one that did the deep dive on that one, and I send that video to everyone all the time. So I'll also link it for you guys in the chat box. Question, how do I create a saved asset search for devices that do not have the Syncro agent installed? So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do this. Let me share my screen. And if we head over to the assets and RMM section, sometimes people don't notice this, but there's this little magnifying glass over here to the left, or you can also use this little saved asset search button right here, populates the same type of thing. So I like using this one. It just has more colors, is prettier, I don't know. But here in the new search section, if you notice, there is an asset type section here, and you can search for those here. So obviously you do have to pre-populate these manual assets first. So how you build these is if you click new asset, you can choose whether it's going to be a RMM device or a Syncro device, or you can choose from a pre-built list here or modify asset types, and anything that you guys are keeping track of for your customers, you can keep listed here. So printers, maybe camera equipment, anything like that. So hopefully that is helpful to you. Let me just double check, make sure I didn't miss anything. I think that was it for that specific question. And then I have a second question here from Scott. He says, is there a way to customize the text in the window that pops up on an asset when you connect remotely? So at this time, that is a feature request. I will definitely pass it along to the team. I have heard that request before previously, and it is important for, I think, for branding purposes, or if there's a custom message that you want to add. But for those of you that don't know, if you go over to your policies and you scroll down a little bit more than halfway, right here, if you say require attended access, this is where it would basically gray out the screen for you and your text before and when asking, and it'll ask your end user for permission before remoting in. And unfortunately, that text at this time is not customizable, but the setting is there.
Thank you, Tatiana. Super helpful. Quick question from Joseph on warranties. What about for assets you didn't sell but put an agent on? And so I'm going to share my screen here. In that respect, what you would want to use is actually asset custom fields. And so if I'm in a specific asset, that then you can create a date field that would be a custom field. So on your asset overview, those custom fields would be here. And so to manage them, that you do want to go ahead and manage your asset types and add those fields onto it. And so if we go ahead and go back, and then let's see. Oh, having trouble finding that, sorry. But if we go ahead and add that date field onto your custom field types, that in the saved asset searches that you are able to create a search based on that specific date field. And then you could see those assets that you don't necessarily have a warranty template on for the specific dates to come up for your search. Hopefully that helps.
So I have a excuse me. Roger also asked, he generates and sends invoices to customers even if the total bill number is 0, or I manually discount it to 0. Question is, how do I close those invoices so they do not get counted as open or past due? This is a great question. Anything that's in even as a $0 invoice would still have to be kind of managed in a way. So kind of the recommended would be like a quick payment, and then it will mark it as resolved. If you have multiples of these every month, the best thing to do would be to customize the view and have the total here. And so then you can see this 0, you can select it, hit bulk actions, and then you can mark it as quick paid as well.
Awesome, awesome. I will grab another one. A question from Chris. Ooh, disappeared. There we go. Is there a way to add multiple notes for each customer in separate text boxes? There's only one text box. So if I had to add multiple notes, I would have to date them and scroll through one large text box and either add a new note or find an old one. If there was a text box created for each note, it would be a lot cleaner and easier. Awesome. I do have a suggestion for you. Unfortunately, there isn't multiple text boxes in the regular notes section, but you can utilize custom fields. So if we head over to the customer information section, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up Larry's profile here. You do have the capability to create text boxes, check boxes, custom links, anything that you need in here. So this might be a different way for you to organize your information. I think you're using this notes section, but instead you could use the custom fields. So if you edit these, or if you haven't created any, you could go ahead and edit. And in this section here, again, if you click Manage Custom Fields, these are all the different ones that I have available. And as you can see, there's a text area and a text field. So one of those, I don't remember which is which, has basically more room for you to write. So hopefully that is helpful to you.
Thank you, Tatiana. I got a couple in here. So Scott, I guess this is a follow-up question. I guess I need to be more specific when I'm in the box. Remote in the box pops up generically stating remote session has been opened. Most remote access let the end user know who's connecting. I agree. I think it would be nice to have like the tech name or something like that, but I have seen people use either the chat feature or the broadcast messages to do that before they're remoting into a device. So the Broadcast message is nice. It's branded and it pops up for them. So that would be one way that you could do it. And of course a chat, because you'd be able to get their buy-in that you're going to go ahead and remote in. So that's one way you can do that. Dennis, great question. I'm about to open up another location in another town. So first of all, congratulations. I would like to be able to track tickets and invoice each location separately. Is there a way to do that within Syncro, or do I need a whole new Syncro account for that? So we don't support multiple locations inside of Syncro currently, so you would have to have a separate account if you're looking to invoice and ticket separately at the time. Really good question though. You guys.
Holy moly. You
Woo!
guys clearing through that queue.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Super fun. Did we address Jeremy's question? I can grab that real quick. We got a response from our technical support manager, Frank. Did we answer that one already, or did we miss it? I can grab it. Jeremy's question was, when creating a new purchase order, how do we add an item that isn't marked for maintain stock but is already in the products list and occasional purchase? I see the manual add option, but the product I want is already in the system and I want to add it to the purchase order to track along with the rest of the shipment. So the response I got from Frank is, unfortunately, this isn't currently available. We assume users aren't putting these on purchase orders because they're not maintaining stock. So if it's like a one-time item, unfortunately there isn't a way to do that. So hopefully that provides a little bit more clarity for you.
I think I actually answered that one. I'm sorry. That was my fault for not speaking up. Yeah, I actually kind of sent him that way. In fact, manual adding on the, doing it on a purchase order will create the product separately and will tick the box as maintain stock on. So it's kind of counterintuitive to have one on the invoice that's not maintained, and then it would create a separate one.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cameron.
Back up, Corey, any day, any day. I know we announced that to you guys, but it should be really soon. We're just finalizing some things, and someone else asked too. Corey, Roger, you guys are just reading each other's minds here, but any day.
Okay, I think I can take one. Mitchell asks, let's say some tech schedules a bulk script to run and it sets at the wrong time. Is there a way to clear that specific script from running? And so go ahead and correct me if there's another place to see this, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And where I am is in the asset overview. And so if you schedule a script on a particular asset to where under the scripts tab, it will show you them here, and then it'll show you the recurring scripts here. And then it looks like there is a delete option. Does anyone know anywhere else that they would be able to see that?
I think if you were to bulk run the scripts, it would show up as pending, and once it's in pending status, it would not be able to be stopped.
Got it. Thank you.
Question here from Joseph. So I feel like this comes up every once in a while. On the tickets, what's the difference between resolve and quick resolve? So let me just show you real quickly. There's not much of a difference, to be honest. One is just going to take you back directly to tickets. So if I just hit resolve here, that's going to keep me here in the ticket. And then let me find another one for you. I believe quick resolve takes you back to all tickets. So let me just open one up that I know isn't resolved yet. And I just go to quick resolve, takes you back to the ticket view.
All right, there's two in here. So the first one, Garrett's like a clarification as to whether or not about sales tax and general market products is taxable, but don't select a rate, and the customer tax status will apply or not if they are tax exempt to the invoice. Correct. Yeah. So if you mark the item as taxable, but you don't select a drop down, it will inherit the tax that's on the invoice itself. However, if you have it selected there, it will. But yeah. And Joseph Hertz question is, I hope I didn't miss the answer, but will QuickBooks Desktop Sync, how do I remap a customer inside of Syncro? That one's a little bit more difficult. I actually did answer it on the previous one, but we could talk about it. Kind of the hard thing with QuickBooks Desktop is all those, the way that they kind of merge with Syncro is through syncing. And then if they're incorrect, the best way for us to do it would be to send in a ticket to us and we'll clear that ID. Because in essence, what it will kind of look like for us is this. It kind of shows kind of what the customers are mapped to, and we'd have to delete it. And then on the next resync, it should remap with the correct one. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much. Question from Joseph. Can you add custom fields only to a specific customer? For example, we want to leverage the checklist feature, but the customers would have different checklists, for example, adding or removing employees. So there's a couple different directions that this question can go. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and I'll show you a couple things. First things first, when you are building your custom fields on the customer profile, all of these fields will exist no matter which customer it is. So if we're in Larry's business, you will see customer type, billing status, API key. If I go to a different customer profile, these fields are going to be available on every single customer profile. However, when you say checklists, that makes me think of our worksheets through Syncro, and that is available also throughout. It'll be available for you to choose from on any ticket as well. So neither worksheets or our custom fields are customer specific at this time. So hopefully that is helpful to you.
Okay, so I remember, I believe, Brandy, I don't know if I did this or not, a video about automations. Do I remember the date? You were referring to ticket automations or automated remediations. I did just look in our YouTube channel. And if you guys don't know this, let me just share real quick because this can be really helpful. So if you just go to Syncro MSP, YouTube, you can view all previous playlists that we've had all of our open office hours. So if you just go into the playlist section and then you view the playlist, you're going to be able to see all previous deep dives we've had, and you'll be able to just kind of quickly go through here. I did find the one on agent contact forms and ticket automations. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to. If so, I will drop that in the chat box for you. But if you're referring to other automations, let us know and I'm happy to go through those for you.
I have a question from Dennis. Maybe I missed this in the first 15 minutes. I know it's probably asked every week, but my techs want to know if there's an update on the Apple integration. We will be releasing a Mac agent pretty quickly soon.
Question from Chris. Can you walk through changing the outbound emails from the @Syncro email to another domain? I'm having trouble doing this. Sure, I believe Cameron showed it a little bit earlier, but I can go ahead and share my screen. I think we're still looking at somebody's screen though. There we go. Let's go ahead and go here. So where you're going to find that is in the admin section. And then those mailboxes are at the very bottom. And so right here, it does say inbound email, but go ahead and pop into there. And then you will see which mailbox is your outbound mailbox. So you can go ahead and hit edit right here and then be able to update that email address there.
Corey has a question in here, and I'm open to hearing what other MSPs and break-fix users in this group have to say. So he said thoughts on migrating QuickBooks and Syncro for brick and mortar storefront plus managed services, or keep them separate due to inventory, mass amounts of customers. Just looking for thoughts. I've seen it done both ways. I've seen people use QuickBooks and Syncro for everything. If you guys, just because I don't have previous experience, or Cameron, I'm not sure if from the technical support standpoint, you guys have a best practice there. But if anyone in the group happens to use both for brick and mortar and managed service, we would love to hear that. And I know Corey would too.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. We get it often, just like, hey, this is there's a lot of, you're not alone. There's a lot of people in the same boat of this transition. And I think that I think it kind of depends on your goal. If your goal is to go full managed services, then I would do everything. My recommendation would be to do everything in Syncro, because you can definitely manage break fix customers and manage service customers all within Syncro. And then it'll help that transition as your business evolves and changes. If they're totally separate entities, meaning you have a totally different business name for your break fix than you do for your managed services, in that case, then maybe keeping them separate. So I think that'd be interesting. I was just going to grab this one. Which one of the AV products will be available for the Mac agent? Yeah, so as we rework the Mac agent, I mean, we've announced it publicly that we're, looking to release that in Q1. What I have heard is that I believe for sure Bitdefender, but I don't want to say anything else just because I don't remember if I'm remembering correctly, because I thought we might offer all of them. But I know for sure Bitdefender.
And Bitdefender is available now with your Mac agent beta.
Yep.
Too. Yeah, Dennis says web root with Mac. It does, but our integration doesn't with the Mac agent beta. So probably more details to come, like Crystal said.
Awesome,
Corey,
awesome.
thanks. You're awesome too.
I was going to grab this one from Garrett. This is why I love it when you guys join us for the live Q&A sessions, because not only do we help answer your questions, but you guys also provide feedback, and we love to share it with the rest of everyone that's here too. Garrett says, awesome. QuickBooks Online is only for my accountant. LOL, we do it all in Syncro. Almost did Syncro/Repair Shopper, but managing 2 customer databases would be crazy. And I think this is in reference to what Crystal was addressing with moving from a repair business to an MSP business. So thank you so much for your input, Garrett. And then I'll also answer your question here. He says, to bulk edit my products to take off tax rate, export, fix in Excel, import would be the only way. I would say that would probably be the best way. I was just kind of poking around here, and it looks like there isn't a way to do this in bulk that I can see, straight kind of in taking a quick look at it, because if you do select all bulk actions, you can choose if it's taxable or not, but not move the tax rate. So yes, I would say inventory modules, export to CSV, make the changes, import, and then you should be good to go.
You guys flurried through a ton of questions. I literally just sat back and watched, and oh my gosh, so good. And Cameron, thank you so much. I learned a lot from you answering some of those questions. So thank you so much. We do have a couple, we've got a couple minutes left. So go ahead, Cameron.
I was going to answer this one on the ticket regarding whether or not it would show up on there. I believe when you create a ticket and you create an item that has low stock, it will show as pending. So once you select the pending, you could select the actual item requested and then add it directly to PO, whether to an existing or to a new one.
That's awesome. I was just going to read this one out loud because I think there might be a quick answer. Is there a quick way to do a remote shutdown without logging into the asset? I have clients that want computers shut down at night or weekends after I am done working on them. Can you just could you just run a script on like a policy level at a specific time, or just set up a reoccurring script 5 p.m. on Friday shutdown? I think that would probably be the best way to do it remote and in mass.
Yep. There's actually I looked in the community script library, and there's a shutdown scheduled script in there that you can use. And Jeremy also put into the Q&A for you guys to see the executable that you can run as well.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Great, and thank you, Joseph. Thanks for returning more than once. We love doing these. It really helps us. We continue to learn every week. We learn from you all too, because it's so helpful. Like the example that Jeremy just did, throw some responses in there and help us out too. It's a great way to get involved with the community. We have such a phenomenal community. We love you all. We want you all to succeed and grow and be happy and healthy. So thank you all for joining us today. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully we'll see you back next week, but stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks, Cameron. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Cam. Bye.
Yeah,
Thanks, Cameron. Thanks, guys.